How you doing?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm good.
Okay, Jim Miller. It's an honor to meet you. I've been watching your fight for a long time.
Thank you.
Of course, everybody knows that you've been fighting the longest in the UFC. You have really excellent record, and you're still keeping that good record. And I saw you fighting against Gabriel Benitez, and it was impressive. Your striking was impressive, and your striking is still working to those young guys fighting in the UFC. How do you evaluate your striking ability? I mean, everybody talks about your jiu-jitsu, but you have the striking ability. I want to know how you evaluate yourself on that.
I think it's pretty good. The hardest part that I sometimes have is some of the weapons that I use, right? Particularly like left leg and stuff like that. They get banged up sometimes, in training, and then you create these bad habits that don't show up in the fight, or you don't use those tools in the fight, right? So, like I've had some fights where everything came together, and I felt really good, and it looked really good, and then it's like, sometimes the fights I'm not as healthy as I wanted to be, or like I said, one of the weapons might be a little bit banged up, so I don't use it. So like when everything's firing on all cylinders, I feel like I've become a pretty proficient kickboxer, and I'm not the like playful striker type. I am the gas pedal down, move forward, type of striker. So it's a matter of just fighting to my style, and when I do that, it seems to work out pretty well.
Okay. You recently submitted Damon Jackson, and you submitted Donald Cerrone with your guillotine choke. I've seen a lot of your submission techniques, but is the guillotine choke, is it still your signature movement when you do that you use in fights?
I would say so. Yeah. I've drilled it so many times over the years, and kind of there are other guys out there, other fighters and jiu-jitsu practitioners and coaches and stuff that have a similar style of choking, as mine with their hand placement. But I kind of figured mine out like on my own, and it just kind of fell into where I felt comfortable wrapping the neck. It happens second nature. So if the opportunity arises and I'm not in my own head and I'm not, stopping myself from doing it, then it goes on pretty quickly.
It's my personal question. Do you pull more, or do you give pressure more with your armpit? How do you do it?
I try to describe it as more of like a crushing motion, right? Okay. I'm trying to wrap my whole body
with the
around. So it's like I always go arm in because I feel I have better control over the body, and then everything works together to clamp down. Even my legs, I'm pulling with my knees. I'm pinching my knees together, and I'm trying to pull their torso up, and essentially like wrap their neck around my hand as I'm choking. So the way that I do is not by like pulling my head up and away and having my legs and arms work in opposite directions. I try to think everything compressed one point.
Okay. Oh, thank you for sharing your secret, because I never have a chance to see your hands when you do the chokes, right?
뽀빠이연합의원 3주년을 축하드립니다.
예, 감사합니다.
네, 3주년이 되신 소감을 한 말씀 부탁드리겠습니다.
시간이 엄청 빨리 가네요. 벌써 3년이 돼서 반월당에서도 보통 3년 되면 자리 잡았다고들 하거든요. 잘 자리 잡을 수 있었던 건 또 우리 환자분들이 잘 찾아주시고 잘 나서주셔서 이렇게 병원이 잘 운영될 수 있었던 것 같습니다. 투자하는 선수들도 또 다칠 때 찾아주시고 하셔서 또 고맙게 병원이 지금 잘 운영되고 있는 것 같습니다. 감사합니다.
선생님 최근 뽀빠이연합의원 후원으로 UFC 선수들 인터뷰를 저희가 진행하고 있거든요. 이제 목적성과 뭐 어떤 면에서 좋다 이런 거를 한 말씀 부탁드릴게요.
UFC 선수 저도 영상을 보고 있는데 우리 또 인터뷰 영상을 보니까 선수들이 우리 또 시합할 때 나오는 것 말고도 의사생활이라든지 PT 배경이라든지 해서 비하인드 스토리들이 궁금하잖아요. 그런 걸 또 알기 쉽게 또 들을 수 있고 또 UFC 요즘에 또 스토리가 중요하잖아요. 그 UFC 시합 전에 또 이런 걸 볼 수 있어서 유익한 영상이었던 것 같습니다.
Yeah.
So, okay, I saw you fighting Chase Super. I thought he has long legs and long arms, and it's because because of his long arms and legs, you couldn't set up like the takedowns or submissions or the strikes, and that's my opinion. So I want to ask you what really happened in the cage.
That was the fight. That fight started exactly like I thought it was going to start. I figured he was going to come out. He's going to try to take me down. I was going to be able to defend, out wrestle him, land on top, and land some heavy strikes. And the first minute or two of that fight was exactly like we prepared for, exactly like I had planned, and I could see my path to victory. And then I was dealing with some health issues going into that fight, and some were a little more nagging, and some were a bit more recent, like kind of associated with my weight cut and particularly rehydration. And I ended up just gassing out. Like I was in great shape, and yeah, and things just weren't going my way. So I've always been a student of the game and trying to evolve as I'm fighting. I'm trying to evolve with the sport and the competition and all that stuff, but also with my own body and how I react to training camps and weight cuts and all that stuff. And I've had to make a couple adjustments. So I felt very similarly post weight cut in the Damon Jackson fight. It's just I landed that guillotine, but had that fight going on a little bit longer, I feel like I probably would have fatigued in that fight as well. And it wasn't because I wasn't in shape; it's because I had a very rough rehydration process. And so yeah, he had my number that night, and I wasn't able to get the finish in time before my body started to fight me on it. But yeah, it was we prepared super well for that fight. I was in great shape. It just wasn't my night, and that's unfortunately the way it goes sometimes.
Okay, that's how it went. Well, that's really relieving for me because I could see the perfect condition of you for in the weekend. Okay, Jared Gordon is a little bit longer, but I mean he's a little bit taller, but you have your reach is a little bit longer than him, right? So
yeah.
And then Gordon is not like really pressing forward, and we have reach advantage. So how are you gonna lead the fight? What kind of strategy do you have for that night?
Just to make it the typical Jim Miller fight, keep the action going, right? I do really well in the mayhem, and that's when I kind of get into that zone, they call it the flow state or whatever, and I get that through like me pressing and me putting pressure on my opponent. And if I lay back a little bit more, I'm not a reactive fighter. I'm more of like I'm active. I need to be the one kind of like dictating. So yeah, the game plan is pretty much the same as always, right? The last 46 is go out and try to get in his face and press him and make him need to defend himself, need to fight back. And when I do that, that's when opportunities open up for me.
Okay. In the interview 2024, you said, "I'm not preparing for the war. You prepare for massacre." Is it still valid for this time?
Absolutely. That's always the goal. The goal is always to go out and just to completely dominate. And yeah, it's and when you prepare it in that way, it does make those hard battles easier to get through. But yeah, I'm never looking for that fight of the night. I want that performance of the night, right? So so I want to go out and I want to get paid as quickly as possible and make as much money in as short amount of time as I can and move on to the next one.
Okay, I run this amateur MMA organization called KMMA in Korea. Do you have any advice to those young Korean amateur fighters who want to become UFC fighter in the future? Saying what they should do in amateur level to be a fighter like Jim Miller?
I think at the amateur level, you need to see yourself like through these things, right? And instead of necessarily preparing to fight other amateurs and other guys who are on the lower on the totem pole, prepare to fight me, right? Prepare to fight the guys at the top of this division. When I started fighting in 2005, like I was trying to fight BJ Penn. That's what I wanted. I wasn't worried about the guys that I was fighting because they were just steps, on the way up to the top. And that's really what I could say is like don't narrow your skill set for somebody who is an amateur who hasn't been training that long of a time. Like train to be the best in the world, train to fight the best in the world. And when you fight somebody locally that doesn't meet the standards, you're gonna mop the floor with them and move right on. Like I see a lot of like the younger guys that I train with, they want to watch tape on guys that have one fight, two fights, and it's like there's no tape, there's no information, and we really don't even need to be worrying about that. Like learn how to throw good strikes, learn how to wrestle, learn how to tie in everything with your submissions, and learn to be a complete fighter to be the best. And then these guys along the way, they'll fall by the wayside.
Okay, one last question. You have anything to say to your fans in Korea and the UFC fans in Korea, like message for them?
Yeah, thank you to everybody in Korea for all the support. I really do appreciate it. I hope to get the opportunity to come over there one day and see your country. And yeah, I love I love being a fighter. I love getting getting the roar of the crowd and everything. And I definitely do appreciate every bit of fandom that people have for me, right? Because everybody, if you're a fan of me, it's because of the way that I fight, not because of a character I play on social media or anything like that. So yeah, I really do appreciate it, and I hope to put on a good show for you on Saturday night.
Okay, I wish you all the best and hope you get that performance of the night bonus.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. You have a great day.
You too. Thanks.
Bye-bye.